This is one of the newest communities in one of Kansas City's fastest growing markets for new construction homes. This video, we've got two completely different plans by one of the top builders here in Kansas City. Two-story plan, it's brand new. We haven't shown it before, and it even has a secret room in the master suite. After that, we're gonna come take a look at this model. It's decked out with all the top finishes, and it's their most popular floor plan. But before we get into that, if you've heard the horror stories of somebody going to build or buy a new home and the price increasing along the way, that's not quite something you're gonna have to deal with in this community, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. First up is the Delano, a brand new two-story plan by Inspired Homes. This one's about 30 days out, so it's not completely done yet, but I wanted to show it to you. Comes in around $770. It's 5 beds, 4 baths, 3,274 square feet. And it has 2 bonus rooms, one on the main level and one upstairs. And as you can see on the drone footage, you've got a little bit of a front porch. As soon as you step inside, clear line of sight front to back. We'll give you a little sneak peek of the main floor here, but it's not just the bonus room upstairs in the master suite. You also have, I'll put the floor plan on the screen right here, you've got an office off the entry, and you also have a secondary bedroom on the main floor, which is a big deal. If you have guests over, a lot of people are wanting that secondary bedroom so that their guests don't have to go all the way upstairs. Gives you a little bit more privacy. But starting here at the entry, first thing that I want to point out is a couple weeks ago, we did the home next door, 4,500 plus square feet, built by Inspired Homes, came in at an unbelievable price for the square footage. One thing we talked about in that video is this builder's review process. And I'm bringing it up here because this home's about 30 to 45 days out. So it's not completely ready just yet. They probably have a couple more steps of their review process. I just wanted to point that out. So keep it in mind throughout this one. But starting with the entry, you've got these 2-story ceilings, gives you quite a bit of volume here. It makes the whole plan feel nice and large. So the staircase wraps around. You've got huge windows that bring in a ton of light. And this is the perfect area right here. If you saw this staged, you'd most likely see a chair and an end table right here. Gives you a little bit more livable space there. But Inspired, they tend to do these 8-foot front doors, which I like. It makes the plan feel very, very big. And this right here, this is our first bonus space. So this is, you could call it an office, sometimes a pocket office. They tend to do quite a few accent walls in their bonus spaces, whether it's a dining room, office, whatever that might be. They added the light fixture. And then I mentioned you've got these 2 French pocket doors, which are right here and will probably be installed very soon, but really good look. We're gonna start here with the great room, and I'm gonna show you one other space that I think they did really well. But you've got the stone floor-to-ceiling fireplace. I love the stain color on the floating shelves. You've got the built-ins on either side with a darker enamel color. And usually that's an upgrade because any dark colors, you gotta have a deep base enamel. Those tend to cost extra. One thing that I've noticed in Inspired Homes, you almost always get these wide plank engineered hardwood floors. But this all brings us around to the kitchen. And I really like this setup for a couple different reasons. You get the tall cabinets, upgraded countertops, the hood ties in with all the stained colors you've seen. You even have this 2-tone look between the stained island, the darker base cabinets, and then the white uppers. But one thing I really like is if you come right here, Alex, right here, and you're looking right at the dining room, the backyard, gives you a pretty good perspective of the entire plan. And then just to your right, you've got the fireplace and great room. But before we show you any of this, pretty good sized dining area right here, off to your left, we've got the secondary bedroom and bath on this floor. And then across the hall, we've got the garage entry and pantry. So we're gonna get to those in a moment. But I did wanna show you the patio. You've got a covered patio. I'll put some drone footage on the screen right here. Like we said, this one's still under construction. So the steps are usually one of the last things that they're doing here. But I did want to take the chance to tell you a little bit about this community. This one, it's called Hilltop Farms. Inspired Homes is also the developer. It's right off 175th Street in Merlin, which falls along what I call the new homes corridor in South Johnson County. It's where you'll find all the new homes. We've done videos on pretty much all of these around here. You've got Boulder Creek just to the north. You've got the Stonebridge communities, which you saw on last week's video, Parkside Reserve. This is where all of the new home communities cut through Olathe to Overland Park and eventually to State Line. One of the big amenities here is Heritage Park. You got acres and acres of trails, green space, football fields, soccer fields, disc golf. There's a lake in it, and of course a dog park as well. You're in the Spring Hill School District, which is growing very quickly. It services a lot of the communities here on the Olathe side, some of them on the Overland Park side here along the New Homes Corridor. They're opening up like a brand new elementary school every 2 years at this point. I know they've got land for a brand new high school. They just opened a brand new middle school. On top of that, this one, the homes here, they fall anywhere between the mid 600s, go all the way up to 950 plus. We're going to show you an example, the upper end of that price range here when we get to house number 2. But one question I always get, especially in newer communities, is does it feel vacant? When are the amenities going in? We're gonna get to the amenities closer to the end of this video, but I can tell you, they just opened up the rest of the phase 1 lots here, which is great. Usually we tend to see lot prices increase as each phase sells out in these communities. The second thing is that they're selling about 2 build jobs a week, which is really, really fast, especially in this market. I think it has a lot to do with one of the factors here when it comes to pricing, which we're going to get to right before we go over and see house number 2. But any questions if you're comparing different new home communities in Kansas City, different builders, etc., totally free guide. It's linked at the top of the description. We're going to unpack a couple of my frameworks that are inside of there so you can get a better idea of how to spot the best value when it comes to new construction. We're going to start, one thing I should say before we get to the boot bench garage entry, they always do upgraded appliances. So you got the stacked microwave oven. Over here, you've got the 36-inch 5-burner gas cooktop. But coming this way is actually very clean for a home that's not completely finished just yet. Still has a couple weeks to go. The garage looks spotless. They do install garage door openers, but usually one of the last things to happen here. Behind me, we actually have the coat closet right off the, it's pretty big. It's not just a couple shelves in there. You've got quite a few, coat rack, etc. And then right here, we've got a really tall boot bench, upper cabinets, which is great. You got drawers below. And I always love to see that you've got this stained bench because that stain usually quite a bit more durable. But across the hall here, you've got a very deep pantry, lots of shelving, and it goes really well with how much cabinet space you have in the kitchen itself. But around the corner, we have one thing that I know a lot of people are looking for when it comes to a 2-story plan. First is a full bathroom. Believe it or not, sometimes in some plans, you'll only see a half bath on the main floor. You might get an office, but sometimes you don't always get this full secondary bedroom, which is great. And usually when you see that, it means you can finish more of the basement. Usually the footprint of the main floor is better. But 10-foot ceilings, which is great for a 2-story. Sometimes you're only looking at 9 feet, gives you a little bit more space. And then of course, you've got a walk-in closet and these soaring, very tall 8-foot doors throughout the main level, which is, sometimes you might only see the front door that's 8 feet. It costs extra to do, gives the house a much more premium feel here. But before we head upstairs, I'm going to put that plan, the upper level plan, on the screen because, like I said, there's a secret room upstairs off the master, which I think is actually quite a big value add, especially at this price under $800. But to kick things off, I did want to show you a perspective of those 2-story ceilings off the entry. I love that you have the wraparound staircase right there. So it's not a steep stair. You have 2 different landings. It's upgraded luxury carpet. And then when you do get to the top here, you have these engineered hardwoods that are carried through the landing. But up here, we've got 4 bedrooms, including the master. So 5-bedroom total home with those 2 bonus rooms we talked about downstairs. Pretty good space. One thing I notice about a lot of their homes is that you tend to get walk-in closets in even the secondary bedrooms, which isn't always going to be the case. Alex, we're gonna go through, actually, I'm gonna have you go through, this is a Hollywood bathroom, and I'll meet you on the other side. But one thing that I like about their secondary bathrooms is they tend to do granite or quartz in all of them. Sometimes you'll see like a cultured marble or thinner countertops, but I like that they go ahead, they spend a little bit of extra money to get you more premium feel. This bedroom is pretty big for a secondary. You've got this little pocket space around the corner, perfect for a desk if you've got kids, and then quite a bit of light coming in here too. Another thing that I want to point out, whenever you tour these homes, usually, the standard for a lot of builders is you're going to see one service mount dome light in the center of the room, and that's usually wired for a fan as well as the light. They went ahead, they added the two other recessed lights in here, which is great. You get an even bigger closet in this one, a little bit of space to work with in this upper level here. And then across the hall, we've got bedroom number 3. If you see that crack in the window, that's something that they're certainly going to fix there. You've got the nook down below, which is great use of that space. And then right around here, we have the private bathroom that also leads to the closet just around the door. And you can see it's a walk-in closet as well. But I know what a lot of you are looking forward to is the primary. Especially on a 2-story, you're gonna have quite a bit of space to work with because they don't have to force it into the main level. So you just have a little bit more square footage up here. Before that, I want to point out you've got 2 separate units. So this is for the upper level. You've got one for the lower level as well, which is really important. And we broke that down in a video a couple weeks ago when we did the Opus 2. It's like 4,500 square feet. It means that each of these units becomes a little bit more efficient. You're not relying on just one unit to power the entire house, especially if you finish that basement. But around the corner, great size laundry room. One request that we tend to get is for a top like that so you can fold clothes, etc. This is the best of both worlds, where you get the space for the prep top right here, but you also get the sink as well. Sometimes these laundry rooms are a little bit smaller and you're choosing between the sink and a prep space, but that is impressive. Baskets can easily go below. And around the corner, we have the master, which is huge. 3 windows, picture window in the middle. They always do a box vault up here. They added the recessed lights. And really what I want to show you is around the corner from the closet, but we've got to get to the master bath first. So a ton of space here. You got these almost larger format square tiles, but this is one that I'm starting to see a lot. A lot of builders are starting to move, and designers are moving towards, they almost look like those acoustic slats. If you see accent walls, they look like it adds some texture. It looks great, 3D tile. And then right around the corner, we have separate vanities. So her vanity, you got the tower for both of them. They're certainly going to paint these mirrored. Like I said, there's a whole review process that this builder does. And then you get pretty sizable shower there. I like that Alex, if you get a shot of the window in there, that's great. Gives you privacy, gives you some natural light. And then of course you've got the bench in the corner there. But when I first walked through this home before we started filming, I came up here because I knew there was a secret room. I was like, where is it? I couldn't quite, you're looking for it in a space usually off the bathroom or something like that. We do have the water closet here, but that secret room is actually, once you walk in the closet, it's straight back. So you could certainly use this, I imagine most people, as an office. It could be extra closet space, but I like that you get this because it gives you a little bit more privacy if both of the owners, if you both work from home, you need separate offices, something like that. It's a great utility space to have in the house that we just don't see on a lot of plans. But huge closet, the mirror, again, still under construction. We'll get you a shot of this left side here, which goes super deep, plenty of built-in shelves, which is excellent. Now, I referred to the video we did a few weeks ago on this house right here. It's like 4,500 plus square feet, came in under $900,000. The value for the square footage was insane. But one of the things that this community, this builder does differently is the protections when it comes to cost increases. That's really one of the things that scares a lot of people off from new constructions. The idea of, hey, if I go to build, is the price going to increase on me? In the guide, it's linked to the top of the description. I have a couple different frameworks that explain this and will help you kind of analyze different homes and make sure you're protected. This builder, this community, Inspired Homes, they take a couple measures to make sure that doesn't happen. But the reason this is important, a few weeks ago, I was going through one of my clients' homes it's almost finished at this point, but we were at the electrical stage. And I looked out the back window, and the house across their backyard is built on a very steep lot. And out of the earth, they were pulling the biggest boulders that I have ever seen in my life. That's only one aspect of what you could run into when it comes to site costs. Is the rock, you have to blow it up. If you have to pier after that, which I think they ended up having to do. And then on top of that, if you have to do a retaining wall or something like that. That's an extreme example, but it's not uncommon to see site costs even on a completely flat lot. But in these communities, they don't have any site costs, which is a massive protection if you're looking to build. The second thing is what we're starting to see right now, there's talk of tariffs, talk of prices increasing. Inspired Homes, they don't have any material escalation clauses in their contract, which means unless you upgrade something, you execute a change order, you add anything during the construction, you're not going to see price increases, which in my opinion will give you a lot of peace of mind. And even when I have people building various different communities, different builders, most of our time is spent trying to make sure the costs are predictable and vet any of those things up front. So you can see a little bit more about that in the free guide. It's linked at the top of the description. Or if you're in the market to buy or build a new construction home in Kansas City, feel free to give me a phone call, text message, email. This is what I do every day. I'd love to put all the stuff that I've learned to work for you on your behalf. But that brings us to house number 2, the model. This is called the Windsor by Inspired Homes. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 3,553 square feet. Comes in around $946,000. But what makes this really rare is that they fit a 5th bedroom in the lower level. And as soon as you step inside, I mean, you can tell this is a mod. It's got all the finishes. They went above and beyond. We'll give you a little sneak peek of this floor. And I'm gonna throw the floor plan on the screen. Like I said, one of the most popular plans, and one big reason as to why is the flow, everything you get on this main level, but really that 5th bedroom downstairs. It's really rare to see a reverse 1.5 with 5 bedrooms for under the $1 million price point, just because the size of the house has to be so much bigger. But you can see very similar level of finishes. They've got a lot of staples, Inspired Homes does when it comes to their upgrades. 8-foot front door. This version, you've got the French door setup. You even have quite a few accent walls throughout the house. I took one of my clients who's thinking about building, or kind of on the, do we build, do we look at new construction, semi-new home? We went through this plan and they were just blown away by it. You've got this paneling right here, both sides of the entry. It's extra tall compared to what we normally see. And like most reverse 1.5 story plans, we have the secondary bedroom / office here. This is currently their sales office, so that's why you're seeing it staged as an office. Could be used as either. You can see a very similar accent wall compared to house number 1. We saw something very comparable to that. On the ceiling, I'm a sucker for the trim wrapped box vault. But in this one, they upgraded the light fixtures throughout. You even get the closet right here. And we won't show too much of that because I think they've got some of their paperwork in there. But around the corner, you do have a coat closet, straight back, beautiful bathroom. You get all the lights when you get up to this price. You see the downlighting on the floating vanity. You even have the shower door installed. You've got, I do want to show the backsplash there real quick, Alex, the herringbone going, all the cost extra to lay it that way. You've got the 2 light fixtures, just a really great look. Before we get to the main living spaces, I do want to point out to your right, this is the boot bench, garage entry, laundry room. Straight back is that master closet. So really what makes this plan stand out, beyond just like the 5th bedroom downstairs, it feels huge. Sometimes some reverse 1.5 story plans, they can feel a little tighter. Maybe the living room feels smaller. This one does not have that issue at all. In fact, I love the staging that they did right there with the chair, the table, even the lamp around that curved staircase. But this is an award winner. I'll put the actual award they won on the screen right here. It was 2nd place for distinctive planned design, recessed built-ins either side, the lights up top, floor to ceiling stone fireplace. And this one, you've got those lighter engineered hardwood floors. Now, one thing that I do want to discuss, you also find this in the guide that's linked at the top of the description. The lot type has a major impact on how the home functions, how well it lives, and ultimately the cost. This one is a walkout lot. They did a couple things extra above and beyond. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but that would be a reason to check out that guide. It'll break down the different lot types and some of the big ways they can impact the price. But this kitchen island is just huge, way oversized. I love that they did this stain color. I'm actually a huge, this is one of my favorite stain colors. Upgraded countertops, and then I thought this looked great. You've got the two-tone setup, the lighter stain up top, quartz backsplash up to the hood, and then down below, you've got that darker enamel color. They seem to be a fan of the darker enamel colors in some of these homes. But same deal we talked about in house number one, this builder, you got a 36-inch, this might be beyond that, might be an even wider 5-burner gas range, stacked microwave and oven. And then if we head straight back, this is a difference that I tend to see when you get to the 800s, 900s, etc., is a full kind of prep kitchen area. So you get that prep top, you've got the upgraded face framed shelving, and what I love in here, you even have the window above to give you even more natural light. So it's a step beyond those white shelves that we tend to see in a lot of pantries, but this is above and beyond. It's not just like the gold hardware, the glass cabinet doors, but in the back, glass shelving, and they added the backsplash that you saw in that prep kind of pantry area. Really, really impressive. But I do want to get to the deck because this is a big part of the appeal of a home like this on this type of lot. With a walkout lot, you're always going to have a deck, and it's going to walk out from the lower level into the backyard. I love what they did on this one especially because you have the fireplace, composite decking. It's screened in with full view screens. You don't see the standard trim pieces you'd normally see. You've got the fortress rail, which is a more upscale look compared to treated lumber. And one thing that builders almost never do is deck stairs down, which if you pop that door open, Alex, the deck stairs down, depending on the builder, depending on the layout, this could easily be around another 10,000, 15,000, depending on if you have a landing, how you engineer the steps, etc. But really, really nice to see. I'm a huge fan of having a fireplace out here, mostly for the look, but also two of our best seasons here in Kansas City. If you're thinking of moving to the area, definitely the cooler nights in the early spring as well as the fall. I mean, this is a huge value add, especially if you're on a lot like this and you have the screened-in deck already. But coming back inside, one thing I need to note, up top, you've got the shiplap. Great look, gives you some separation. I'm a big fan of ceiling accents, and that's one of the major differences you'll notice between like house number one and this one, which is in the parade of homes here in Kansas City. But like we mentioned, curved staircase, which looks great. You do have quite a bit of separation between the main floor, which is really big, and this master. One thing you'll notice in here, we saw it right off the entry, is the ceiling. The engineered hardwoods on the ceiling gives you some more texture, and that seems to be the theme of this house. But I love that they recess this right here. You get this sitting area. All of what you see right back here in this community, by the way, I know I've shown drone footage of it earlier when we were in house number one, but right back here, this is all, I believe, an easement. So this is green space. There's nothing going to be built there. And they don't have many lots left in this first phase that are like that, but they did unlock the entire phase itself. So you have a wide selection to choose from. Upgraded carpets, you've got the classy accent wall right back here, and it even matches the enamel color on the doors. But this bathroom, I'm a huge fan of it. We saw it on the fireplace, the first one, the one that was inside. I love this. I understand we might get some comments. What about cleaning that? I get it. Form versus function, all depends on what you're looking for. But design-wise, that looks great. You got the slim profile trimmed out mirrors, sconces on either side, dual vanity. It's very, very long. And then right here, we have the master shower, tile floor to ceiling. They added that window in. We saw that upstairs in the house number one. And then right around the corner, we actually have an oversized water closet there. It's a little bit deeper than most of them tend to be. And then I know I pointed this out when we were right at the entry, but master closets right here, super tall. You get the pull down racks. Because this is a reverse 1.5, there's no second story. You get these really tall ceilings, gives you the space you need to add these valet rods in there like that. This laundry room, not quite as big as house number one, but you still get the value add of the sink in here, the built-ins, and everything else. And before we go downstairs, one thing that I had, and this wasn't from me, this is from Alex behind the camera. He pointed this out to me. You got these hooks that are undermounted, which means they're practically invisible when you're looking at this face on. That's a great look. You got the hex tile in there, but around the corner here, I'm gonna put the lower level plan on the screen so you can see it. One of the things I like about this, design-wise, is you get this curved staircase, which you're not gonna see in many homes, but we have our third fireplace and a huge wet bar. So a couple things we've seen so far in the house. We've seen the herringbone tile that was in that full bathroom off of the entry. This looks super clean. You've got the floating shelves, the underlighting. They even took the quartz up the backsplash there behind the built-in sink on that perimeter. In addition to that, you've got two beverage coolers, one on either side of the sink. And then this is actually a bar height peninsula right here. So you get the taller chairs, the stools, and I like that they wired this for the TV right there. That's a great look, very functional. But like we talked about upstairs, lot type has a major impact on how the home lives and how it functions. This is really nice to have. You get true daylight coming in. You've got an exit, 2 levels of outdoor living space, the screened-in deck, as well as this patio below. And anytime you see those stairs like that, you have to have a landing at the bottom. So it gives you a little bit more space under that covered screened-in deck. But fireplace number 3, I don't say that in many videos that we do. You've got that lighter stain color for the built-ins to the left, some upgraded carpet beneath us. It feels like the pad is upgraded, and then a perfect bump out spot right here. I do want to take a moment. The amenities, they're working on them and they're going up very, very fast. Like I said, this is a newer community. They're selling a lot of these homes, about 2 a week. They just unlocked the rest of phase 1. But the clubhouse, we were out here a few weeks ago, and I think they were just getting started. Now it's almost completely framed in at this point. So what you can expect is a Gaga ball pit. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know really what that is, but it's a new game that the kids are playing now. There's a large playground planned, sand volleyball courts. They'll have a basketball court as well, 2 pickleball courts. The pool is planned to open next summer in 2026. They're looking at a large cabana with a gathering area, 0 entry pool, a splash-free lounge with a tanning ledge, and plenty more. We'll probably be back once those are open just to give you a better look here in several months from now. But like we mentioned, a big benefit of this plan, you've got 3 separate bedrooms. So down here at least, you had 2 upstairs. So actually right there, we have, I believe, a linen closet. Is perfect. You get some storage, some separation. You've got one of your units. I believe this house only has 1 because you don't have, you're never going to have over 4,000 square feet here. This is our bedroom number 1 down here. We've got 2 others on this floor. This one has a private bathroom, which is great. You've got the upgraded countertops in there, the shower with floor to ceiling tile, and then around the corner, we've got a large walk-in closet. Now, as we make our way back to the rec room here, like I said, full guide at the top of the description will walk you through how to compare different builders, different communities. I'm a big fan of the value that I see in inspired homes, and I'll show you another video you can watch to see that. But that guide, it's got a couple different frameworks that'll help you walk through that spot value, spot areas where maybe prices are higher with one house on one lot compared to another. Totally free. Any questions buying, building a new home in Kansas City, feel free to give me a phone call, text message, email. This is what I do every day. I'd love to put all of this information to work on your behalf. Make sure you get as much value as possible. We're going to close this out here with bedroom number 4. Then we'll hop over to bedroom number 5. But perfect. You can't even, it doesn't even feel like a basement here. You've got the 3 windows, completely daylight. There's no window well here. And then across the hall, we have our very unique and not so common bedroom number 5, especially under $1 million price point. So great size. You do have a window well on this section, but quite a bit of daylight coming in, and then a walk-in closet there as well. That is all for this video. Like I said, free guide at the top. Any questions, feel free to reach out. 2 videos on the screen. This is the Opus 2. We referred to it a couple times throughout this video. You should absolutely watch that one. Or this one is the video YouTube thinks you'd enjoy the most. So click there or here, and I'll see you on the other side.